Hey everyone, it's Susie Lee with Lina Boutique, where I hope to inspire you to make beautiful things for yourself, your faith, your family, and your home. A few weeks ago, I painted this pretty little piece of home decor, but it's not really that little. So I got so many wonderful comments regarding this piece, I decided to have it made into a smaller print. And I found this mirrored frame at none other than the Dollar Tree. I coated it with a medium coat of Mod Podge, and I'm going to decoupage this 8 by 8 piece and make it a rectangle. No, it's not a magic trick. First, you center the square on the mirror and score it with your fingers like so. First, you do it on the sides, and then you're going to crisp up that fold with your nails. Or you can use a bone folder tool if you prefer to use that as well. Then grab your paper cutter and you're going to cut it on the outside of the fold on both sides. And we're going to do the same thing to the bottom, center it, crease it, then cut it on the outside edge like you did the others. Then making sure that you have the hanger on the top, you're going to get ready to Mod Podge that and reactivate that Mod Podge. Just center your picture in the middle of the frame, and I'm going to use a piece of folded parchment paper, and I'm going to put the fold right at the edge of that frame so I can get it up nice and close. I'm going to take my hot craft iron, and I'm just going to apply it by holding it, not too firm, but kind of firm, just holding it in place, lifting and moving it about. Now, I don't want to scrape it back and forth because what that will do is it will create little marks on that black paper, and you don't want that. Ask me how I know. I did that with one and it didn't turn out so good. So just lift it if you can and don't put a lot of pressure on, but you want to put that point to the corners of your frame so that you can get right in there and make sure that it adheres everywhere it's supposed to. And here's how it looks, all bubble free. Nice, right? Now we're ready to add what I call the bling on a string. I get this at Hobby Lobby in the jewelry department, and I'm just going to unfurl some of it, hold it tautly, and then with my wire plier, I'm going to cut it right exactly at that last rhinestone so that it fits perfectly at the top. And then I'm going to use that as my template to cut another one for the bottom. And I just stretch it out nice and taut and do the same thing. Pick out the rhinestone where you want to cut it, get your wire cutter and snip. Easy, right? Then in order to do the sides, I have to put those two pieces at the top and bottom so I know exactly where the bling on a string, for better lack of a better word, is going to lay. So I'm going to lay it at the top and at the bottom. And I'm going to put that bling at the side. And I only have to do one like this, and I pull it out and use it as a template like I did the top and bottom. So just cut it right where I need it, and then cut another one. Once that's done, I take them out and lay them on the table on the sides that they're going to be placed. I'm going to use some B7000. I love that applicator tip. It's nice and thin, and it allows me to put a nice thin bead all the way across. And I'm just using the frame as my guide, going slowly and adding a bead of the B7000 glue. Then I'm going to take that strip and I'm going to lay it right in that little puddle of glue. I'm going to make it a little long on one side, then I'm just going to pull it into place. Just like that. Then I go in and I tap with a little skewer on the blunt end and just tap, tap, tap it into place to make sure that each of those little rhinestones are laying flat in the glue. You want to make sure the rhinestones are up. Sometimes they like to twist, so you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that all that bling factor is shining upward. And I'm using the Aurora Borealis, the AB stones. I think they really bring out the pretty colors in the pink and all that. They pick up any color they're next to. And you're going to repeat that for all 4 sides. Look how pretty. Okay, get ready for resin. I use art resin, part A, part B. I need 2 cups that have little lines on the side, so it tells me how many ounces are going into it. However, I do fill these all the way to the top line. Now, the viscosity of the art resin is different. Each one is a little bit different. This one, I believe, was the thicker of them. So I pour it in kind of fast in the beginning, and then I slow it way down because it levels out, and you can see me really slowing it down to just a drip. I wanted it to go all the way to the top. Then I'm going to take what I have in there, and I'm going to put it in a solo cup very quickly so it doesn't spill. I'm going to take my craft stick and I'm going to just scrape the sides and get every bit out that I possibly can. Just takes a couple seconds, but make sure you get all of it out all the way around the cup. Then I'm going to pour part B into my other cup, and you can kind of see how this one is a little more fluid. So I really slow it down at the end, take it all the way to that top line again. And once it levels out, I just take that cup and pour it into part A and get ready to stir. Now, this is going to need to be stirred for 3 solid minutes without stopping. So I'm going to grab my clock. On your mark, get set, go. Well, that's one way to get it done fast. Okay, getting ready to pour. Now, I'm just going to pour this about a third of it out. And I forgot to make mention that I actually made enough to do 2 of these. I had another one made, and so after this video, I ended up doing 2 of them side by side. Now you can see where I'm pouring this out. There's a lot of white little bubbles in there. If you see those, don't get scared. It's no big deal. We can get rid of those with some heat. So what I do at first is I just kind of put it on there and I let it kind of lean to the left, lean to the right, stand up, sit down, fight, fight, fight. You know the drill. Then once I get it close to the edges, I lay it down and I just take my stick and I just start moving that liquid about and getting it all the way over to the edge where the rhinestones are. And I actually am covering the rhinestones with the resin. And take your time with this. You have plenty of workability time. It's not like you have 5 minutes and it's going to start setting up. You really do have a lot of workability time. Now, if you want to wear rubber gloves, it might not be a bad idea. I'm very, very careful not to get it on my hands. But if you prefer, you can. This is a very low VOC resin, and that's why I use it. It's also food safe. Just so you know, if you ever wanted to resin something with this, it is food safe. So I'm going to continue just drizzling now. Now I'm not pouring anymore. You notice I just took the stick in there and I just drizzled a little bit more in so I could just finish off that corner and move it about. You don't have to do any more pouring. There'll be plenty of resin left in the cup to do a second one actually. And we'll just speed this up a little bit so we can move on to the next step, which will be the removal of the bubbles. So I'm going to take my heat tool here and I'm just going to set it close, but keep it moving. Set it really close. Now you can see right before your eyes how it starts clearing up and all those little white tiny bubbles just magically disappear. Well, not all of them, but most of them are going to magically disappear with the heat. Now I'm going to do this all over until I don't see any more of the white film on top. It looks like film, but it's actually little tiny air bubbles. See how it's getting clear here? Now, this is not a hair dryer, it's actually a heat tool. It gets very, very hot, and that is what gets rid of all those bubbles. Now, once all of the bubbles are gone, I'm going to take a lighter for the tiny bubbles that you can't really see here. I'm just going to speed this up real quick. I'm going to take my lighter and I'm going to go around and I'm just going to pop all those tiny little bubbles that you really can't see here on the screen, but trust me, they're there. And there you go. Isn't this beautiful? It turned out gorgeous. Now I did one just plain, just like this, and then I did another one with added aurora borealis crystals, and I love that one as well. It looks like stars in the night sky. I think they turned out beautiful. How about you? Now, my prints will be available in my Etsy shop if you're interested. They're 8x8 prints, and I'll leave my link below for you. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you next time.